What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Missing Piece, and today we are reviewing the main event between Max Blessed Holloway and the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung from UFC Fight Night 225 at Singapore.
Yeah, let's jump straight into it. This fight was such a bittersweet fight for me, being a big fan of Chang Sung Jung, but also knowing that you know this is the end of the road. Um, Seeing him go out like that, I think it was a character and just a display of what type of character he is. Going, punch for punch, chin for chin.
Yeah, he was going on his shield, like he's very aggressive early on.
Yeah,
Well, most of the rounds he was very aggressive early on, so
mm.
yeah.
So I think it's the right way for him to go out. Um,
He called for this fight as well, so he
mm,
wanted the opponent.
mm,
He wanted the fight to be held in Asia,
mm,
and and that's the end of the road for him now. He's retired,
mm,
happy retirement from him because obviously he wanted to fight Holloway.
mm.
He got his opportunity to fight for a title,
Mhm.
fell short of that, but he got to fight Max and went out on his shield.
Yeah. Let's get into it. So, first round.
Yeah, round one. Um, Early on, both fighters were obviously just feeling out each other, exchanging leg kicks as per usual fights. Usually, just like throwing distance range shots
Mm,
or throwing leg kicks, just to feeling out
mhm,
process. But as I said before, Korean Zombie very aggressive in round one. As soon as those early shots were landing, but then eventually, due to that aggressiveness from Korean Zombie, he landed a stiff jab, which unsettled Holloway, which obviously pushed Holloway against the cage, and obviously Korean Zombie capitalized on that, but Holloway got out of it, and
mm,
with that onslaught pressure from Korean Zombie, um, Max landed a overhand right and a left hook, which um, unsettled Korean Zombie. So due to that aggressiveness, Max landed his own two shots, and Max was pushing
mm.
forward for the finish for Korean Zombie, but obviously, yeah. So Korean Zombie started at onslaught, and then Max repaid it to him.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think just watching them fight, both very technical, gifted fighters, knowing what combos to throw, when to throw it, knowing the limits of when to go forward, when to stay back, when to throw a combination, when to throw a jab. I think it was honestly, yeah, I think it was just a very good performance, especially UFC Singapore. A lot of fans over there, a lot of big MMA fans over there. So much love from them lot.
Yeah, obviously a lot of all the Asian fans came out to see Korean Zombie,
Mm.
so obviously it made sense for him to fight. Well, obviously not in his home country, but near to his home country, and obviously
Yeah,
retiring afterwards. So
where a lot of fans can at least come see his last
yeah,
fight as well.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, finishing round one, Max. No, sorry, not Max. The Korean Zombie finished round one strong. But looking at the judges' scorecard, who scored? Which what was the judges' scorecard for round one?
I think round one was 10-9 to the Korean. No, sorry, to Max Holloway. Yeah. So
All
one
judges had
judge,
it 10-9.
one judge has actually had it 10-9 to Chang Sung Jung, but
Yeah,
the other two judges did have it 10-9 to Max Holloway. And I kind of agree with it. I think with some of the strikes thrown, I think Max was throwing things at a higher rate. So for every punch Korean Zombie threw, he was throwing back two.
yeah. I think Max is known for his volume,
Yeah.
and looking at that, looking at the scorecards from the judges for round one, I think I would edge it towards Max also because I think Korean Zombie landed a 1-2 that unsettled Max early on, but Max landed that overhand right,
Mm,
which unsettled Zombie.
mm,
And then I think near to the end, Korean Zombie finished very strong, but I think Max on the overall round in terms of output,
mm.
I think Max just edged it.
Yeah.
So I think I would agree with
Yeah, I'd agree
um,
with
10-9 to Max for round
10-9 to
one.
Max as well. Um, But yeah, I think yeah, round one, I'd give it to Max 100%.
Yeah,
Um,
and
as
usually Max is not known to start off strong,
no,
but I think he had to start off strong because Zombie was very aggressive.
yeah, I think he was
So I
coming
think,
at him a
yeah.
lot. Yeah,
So I think
yeah,
Holloway had to be like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna come out aggressive, so I need to be aggressive also, but aggressive in a calculated way.
mm,
But I think with Zombies is just throwing shots.
for the sake
Where
of throwing
yeah.
shots. Yeah,
So then, but Holloway was like, oh yeah, let me land this look left hook,
mm,
overhand right, and
mm,
then obviously you got the round one
yeah,
from the two other judges. Yeah, but yeah, going into round two,
mm-hmm,
once again Zombie with his aggressiveness again,
mm-hmm,
which is obviously he's known for that.
mm-hmm,
Um, but early in round two, Max drops Zombie with the honestly that combination of that left straight to the body,
mm-hmm,
and then he stepped out. He landed that left straight again, and then he clipped him with a right hand.
mm-hmm,
He didn't land flush on Zombie, but I think he clipped him down the side of the ear.
mm-hmm,
But and then obviously it dropped Zombie,
mm-hmm,
and then from that, the Zombie looked a bit weird on the ground,
mm-hmm,
like he was rolling around and stuff.
mm-hmm.
But due to that messing around from Zombie when he was on the floor, Holloway obviously is not known for his submission threats. He took the neck and tried to go for a anaconda choke, but
Mm-hmm.
I think Max eventually gave up on it because he didn't want to wear out his hands.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to tire himself
Yeah,
out, especially
knowing that it's a 5 round fight. If he does go
5
all
round.
the rounds, I don't want to be. I don't want my hands to be like jelly in round three and four and five.
Yeah, I don't think he. I don't think he wanted to leave himself vulnerable
Yeah,
for the later rounds.
yeah,
But yeah, um, yeah, I think it was just a dominating second round. Like there's nothing to it apart from the fact that he just went in, did his job, got the second round. I think all the judges also scored it 10-9
to Max.
to Max. Yeah,
Yeah, I
all
think
to
I would agree with
Max.
that as well. Yeah,
Um,
I think that entire round he was just obviously that ground control, well, minor ground
sorry,
control,
actually, one judge scored it 10-8 to Max.
which is
So David Letheby,
I think I would have it 10-9. 10-8
mm,
is a bit.
I think 10-8 he would have been rapidly overworked and he would have
Yeah,
been smothered the entire round, or
yeah,
he would have been just so dominated the entire round.
yeah. But I think I would have it 10-9
Mm,
to Max for round two. Um, Obviously after that submission threat,
mm,
Zombie got up, but due to that slow transition going from the ground to the feet,
mm,
Max was landing some ground and pound,
mm,
which obviously hurt Zombie while he was getting up.
mm,
But after they broke from that clinch, both fighters were on the center of the octagon just trading shots.
mm,
But I think once again, Zombie was just throwing, whereas Max was the more calculated fighter as he was in round one.
mm.
So Max was mixing up his strikes like
Body.
body punches to the obviously jabs,
Mm,
1-2s,
mm,
and then at the end of the round, Max finished very strong. He landed a very quick 1-2.
mm.
I think Bisping on commentary was like, "Oh yeah, Max's strikes at the I think maybe last 30 seconds of the round two, that was very quick." And obviously Max is known for that because volume striking.
But like he
And
says himself, best boxer in the UFC.
yeah, yeah,
You know, those 1-2s. I
he,
I think
yeah,
he's honestly like him saying he's the best boxer in UFC. I might have to agree.
yeah.
Yeah, there probably is probably someone.
There's
There's other
people up
people
there,
that are up
obviously. Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but
Like
I think
Poirier's up there,
Poirier is
100%.
up there. But I think Max is better than
Yeah,
Poirier.
I think Poirier's more like I think traditional boxing. Yeah,
Mm,
whereas Max is like his boxing is very good for a MMA fight.
mm,
Yeah, like
mm,
he's mixes it up. His angles, his footwork,
mm,
and obviously his boxing. I think it's not like, oh yeah, let me throw the shots to knock the guy out.
mm,
I think it's, oh, let me just piece him up 1-2, 1-2, just volume punching. That's it.
I think it's like let me take a piece of him
Yeah,
bit by bit.
yeah,
Let me like accumulate damage
yeah,
so that when I do hit him with the power shots, he is feeling it and
yeah.
he is
He's
gonna get
feeling it
knocked
steady,
out.
steady, yeah, steady,
Yeah, he
steady.
is gonna get knocked out.
Yeah,
And then on to the third round.
Yeah,
Um,
the main round where everything happened.
such a sad fight, man. Yeah, start of the third round, Max comes in, a couple of
Yeah,
shots.
like that entire round three, once again,
Yeah,
Zombie always, he's once again always aggressive.
yeah, came out straight,
Like he came out
bro.
proper
As
aggressive.
soon as he said fight, he was
Yeah,
already in the middle of the
I think
octagon.
I think in his mind, I think he's usually known for that. Oh yeah, I only fight for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But as it was a main event, obviously it's 5 rounds. But I
Mm.
think in Zombie's mind was like, oh yeah, this is the last round.
I don't think it was that. I think it was I've lost 2 rounds. If I lose this third round, I'm gonna have to smoke him. Like I'm gonna have to knock him out to win.
Yeah,
So I think in his mind he was like, I've got to put the pressure on. I have to at least take this round with me. So
but
that going
still,
into the fourth and the
yeah.
fifth, I have something to rely on. Because I think if he lost that, well, obviously he did lose, but I'm thinking in his head he goes, oh, if I lose this third round, then the fight is done.
Yeah, but starting off that aggressive, knowing that what you just said, if Zombie was thinking in that mindset, um, that starting off that aggressive in round three is, I think that was a very bad decision because obviously it was a 23-second knockout,
Hmm.
and it was very similar to round one. Round one, obviously Zombie came out aggressive, pushed Max against the cage, and then due to that aggressiveness, Max landed his own punches and Zombie was moving backwards. I think that similar sort of scenario happened in round three where when Zombie got knocked out because Zombie was pushing.
Mm.
Max knew he was pushing, backed away, landed that overhand right before he landed the overhand right, and obviously Zombie fell on the fell face
Yeah,
first
no,
to the
but
grass.
I think he just came out quickly for the pressure, not to like put him under pressure because I don't think Max really gets under pressure like that. But I
Hmm.
think for him to be like, okay, like I'm here, um, I'm in your face, I'm not going anywhere. Because I think if he just started off, let's say casually, and then they kind
I
of
think he
walk
should.
towards,
I think he should have done that because he would have picked up the pace. But where Zombie's known for his aggressive fighting style, so
yeah,
but obviously he wouldn't change that. But yeah, as I said,
came out
yeah,
aggressive,
yeah, came out aggressive. Max,
got some shots in there.
yeah, that honestly, that I think obviously Max is not. I wouldn't say he's not known for his knockout power. I don't think he looks for the knockout. He's like, let me just piece him off volume wise. But when Zombie was when it was pushing him against the cage, Zombie, I think it was like they were both landing overhand shots
Mm,
and hooks as well.
hmm.
Um, I think Max landed his overhand right, and it landed on Zombie first
Hmm.
because I think Zombie was landing his own overhand right on Max. I think
Hmm.
Max, even in his interview before on ESPN, he was like, um, "It's good that I landed my overhand right before he did because he did land on me, but obviously he wasn't that much power because he was
Fallen.
halfway to the onto the floor onto the canvas."
Hmm.
So yeah, so if just imagine if Holloway missed and Zombie which landed, it could have been the other way. The result could have been the other way.
Yeah, I think, but to be fair, I think even if Korean Zombie won, I think he still retires.
Yeah, I think yeah,
I think that he knew,
it was a good like
he knew in it.
in terms of the setting,
Mm,
Singapore, Asia, with his fans
mm,
fighting Max,
mm,
arguably one of the greatest featherweights of all time,
definitely.
and yeah, retiring in that setting was yeah, I think there was a good time to retire. He's had his championship opportunity,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
he knew his time was over. So yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, obviously the result was Holloway knocking out Zombie in round three,
Hmm.
23 seconds.
Mm.
So it was a quick round three, and obviously Max got the victory. But yeah, leading on to that, obviously Zombie retired. But another talking point is what's next for Max?
This is gonna have to fight Volkanovski again.
Is
He's
this is
gonna
the
have to
thing?
fight 4 times.
Yeah,
Here
like the
comes the
stat,
fourth.
like the stat that I seen was
Mm,
Max is 18-0
mm.
against
Everyone else,
everyone else in the featherweight division since 2014, but he's 0-3 against Volkanovski.
which there is an asterisk on that for
Yeah,
me personally.
yeah.
Anyways, I don't think it's 0-3, but
Yeah, from our point of view, I think it was
yeah,
is a 1-1 either way, and then a draw.
even that draw, I think I can give that one to anyone. It could
Hmm.
be 1-2 to Max, or 1 and 2 to Volk. Like that
Yeah,
can fall either way. I just don't believe it's 0-3. Like I don't think Max lost all 3 fights.
I think that's what
I think the
most.
latest one, yes, because the latest one was 10-9 every single round. Like it was. I think. I think the latest one was. I think that one 50-45 from every judge. Understandable. That's the fight
Yeah,
that
I
he
think that
won.
latest one was undeniable victory
Undeniable
for
for Volk.
Volk.
The split decision one.
I think that one there,
I think that one there is for me.
for me, that was Max,
That one was Max.
and the first one's a draw in my opinion.
I think the first one
That
could.
that 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 judge that had it 50-45
Yeah.
for Volk
Yeah.
was a bit sketchy.
I think it's. I don't think it was. I don't think he should have did it 50-45 because I don't know what he was on. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of people did agree, yeah, that it was nowhere near 50-45 because everyone else had it as 48-47. But
yeah,
it's it to me personally, yeah, it could have been 2-1 for someone or 2-1 for the other
yeah,
fighter, but 0-3 is outrageous.
yeah.
But that's just the way the sport's a harsh sport, you know.
The best fighting the best. That's what happens.
It's the
Close
best
decisions.
one, literally, exactly with Islam and Volk.
Islam and Volk. Yeah,
That is the perfect representation. When everyone was like, "Oh, Volk should have won." Some people still believe Volk should have won, but then people are like, "Oh, if you really watch the highlights, he did win 3 out of the 5
yeah. If you
rounds."
break it
So
down, yeah, break it down in someone. Yeah.
yeah, but I think this is going to be Max versus Volk 4.
But this leaves him in a sticky situation because obviously Volk
Hmm.
wants a new opponent.
Mhm.
He's obviously there's Ilya Taporia. He's there.
Mhm.
There is obviously the
Mhm.
winner of Islam versus Charles in Abu Dhabi because
Mhm.
obviously Islam, no, Volk did fight Islam in a close fight.
But
Um,
I think Islam has more people to fight than Volk does in terms of Islam has to go fight more people in the lightweight division.
yeah, because Volk's cleared out the featherweight
Volk,
division.
yeah, Volk's cleared. So I think if Islam goes on to beat Charles Oliveira, he's gonna have to go fight Justin Gaethje,
Yeah,
and
Gaethje.
do you
Yeah.
get what I mean? Like so on and so forth. So he has people to fight.
Hmm.
Where I think
Has
Volkanovski's cleared.
has Islam fought Poirier?
I don't think he has. To be fair, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I'm hearing that Poirier wants to move up to 170. So
He can. Who knows how it work out for
hmm.
him? Um, but yeah, no, I don't think he hasn't fought Dustin Poirier. People are saying he's going to be his biggest challenge, but no.
I think Gaethje is his biggest challenge personally, and Volk probably.
I see. I think his biggest challenge is going to be. I think technically his biggest challenge was Charles Oliveira because they were both very similar fighters. I think Volk was his biggest challenge in terms of striking, and because Volk is very good at his striking ability and techniques. So I think if he can take what he learned from Volk going into the Gaethje fight or whenever that is set up going into that fight, I think he might have his head screwed on a bit differently
Hmm.
compared to going into the Volk's fight.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's
But another opportunity that Max maybe could have if he
mm,
doesn't fight Volk next,
mhm,
is that I don't know if Volk would entertain the Ilya Topuria fight straight away.
mm,
Maybe they could do a Max vs Ilya for the title eliminator to fight Volk
mhm,
because we don't know what's up with Volk. Does he want to defend his title again at featherweight, or does he want to wait for the winner for between Islam and Charles? Or another option is that Max could move up potentially to 155 and maybe fight. I don't know who are the fighters at 155 currently that Max could potentially fight. Obviously, he's Poirier's beaten Max, so that's probably a good matchup because unless Max wants to entertain it, but I
mhm,
don't think Poirier wants to entertain it.
mhm,
Chandler's fight McGregor in December.
mhm.
There's Rafael Fiziev, but obviously that's going down. There's Gamrot, and but those going
I
down the
think the only
rankings.
people for Max to fight in the lightweight division is either a title fight or a fight for the title, like to get to the next
Yeah,
fight. So
that is Gaethje.
yeah, so I think he fights. I don't think Gaethje would take the fight against Max because he knows, regardless of who wins against Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, he's gonna have the next fight.
Yeah.
So what's the point in me fighting against Max if I know I'm gonna get the next fight?
Mm.
And he just came off a win against Poirier, so he's looking at resting, and he's looking at training and getting better, then going into that fight full, you know, healthy, peak of his condition. So I think for him fighting Max is uh, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, Volk he's beat Yair Rodriguez,
I think for,
Ortega. Like
yeah,
there's I think there's literally nothing left for
I think
him.
I think I think the fans
Mm.
probably would want Volk vs Max.
One last time.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it wouldn't be though, because if Max wins, it's like I gotta go get my
you
belt
have to
back,
get
because
again. Yeah,
Volk won't go up a division
yeah,
or want to fight someone without him having a belt. It
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
So I think Max right now is in a very sticky situation. I think he needs to wait to see what Volk does. Does he? I think Volk needs to say whether he wants to wait for the winner of Islam vs Charles in October,
Mm.
or does Volk wait for no, not wait. Does Volk accept the fight against Ilya Topuria? Because if Volk fights Ilya,
Mm.
it makes sense for Max to wait to fight the winner.
Mhm.
So that's the ideal outcome.
Mhm.
Max just needs to wait.
Mhm.
Whereas if Volk wants to fight the winner of the main event in October,
Mhm.
then Max will have to also wait for Volk to see whether he wants to fight the winner, or does Volk with Max happen again for the fourth time. So I think Max is, at the moment, just needs to wait.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that's he's in a sticky situation, but I think just waiting is just the best opportunity for him at the moment.
100%.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
yeah. All right. So yeah, that's the review for the main event
UFC
for
Fight Night 225.
at Singapore. So yeah, we'll catch you guys for the next one.
See
See ya.
ya.